road east of Kishwaukee, get in that way, but they had that black block too. It was fortunate I happened to know one of the officers, and he let me in and told me to go directly to the fire station for further instructions. When I got to the fire station, they told me I could go where Oakwood Street starts at Frost Park, leave my car there, and walk down to Cherry Street. The tornado had basically gone down Cherry Street while moving side to side. As I walked down Oak Street, I didn't know what I was going to find, but to my relief, my house was still there, and my mom and dad were just fine. Dad said he was outside and saw the tornado coming. It was coming right at him and then swung to the left and hit a house 4 doors to the south. Schoolmate Gordy Ammon's parents lived there. The house was not destroyed, but it was knocked off its foundation so much that the windows and doors didn't work. It was eventually torn down and replaced. At the corner, it hit the corner of the rest home where my mother worked. So people trying to get in, people are trying to communicate to the outside world, and it's not really working very good. But 3 hours later, we had ourselves a party. Louis Rasmussen's 83rd birthday was not forgotten. You can't keep Williams Bay people down, that's for sure. The Red Cross responded very quickly. They sent a nurse to be on duty, assisting elderly residents, and an ambulance was on standby to treat delayed shock over the event. Also, the only power in town, getting ready for the party. Town of Delavan sent over a generator, and they hooked it up to their fire truck, so the residents at Sherwood would have lights for the party, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about the party.
Got a party, people. That's all there is to it. This is Cherry Street. We're standing at the corner of, is it Oakwood maybe? Looking east towards downtown. What I find most interesting about this picture is this looks like an upright pine tree that's been picked up and moved into the street. If you notice, the curb is going and then it disappears. So this tree either is leaning towards us so it looks still upright, or it was picked up and moved over. Power lines, more trees. Lucky person able to maneuver. I don't think I would have been out driving on that day, but sightseeing. This is on Elmhurst Road, Oliver Street in Walworth, Florida. Look at how it just shredded the tree and the waviness of the branches. Missing shingles on the roof. You'll notice some of these have blown out windows. And it is a fallacy. In those days, we were told if you see a tornado coming, make sure you open all the windows on the south side of your house. And then your house won't blow up. However, since then, we know that's not the fact. Your house is going to blow up. Opening the windows isn't going to make any difference. Another garage. Corrugated metal wrapped around the tree. Just look at the amount of debris. Window out. But they opened their window. Didn't help. At least it's still standing. And we're ready for the bonfire tonight. We've got our lawn chair.
Oh, gosh.
Although the windows are shattered, again, the windows are open. They should open them. But it really took its toll on Cherry Street. This, I believe, is further up on Geneva Street, but just look at how took it off here, shredded it. And you can tell what direction the tornado was coming, because most all the debris, tornadoes usually go from southwest to northeast. Again, they can go in any direction, but ours followed that path by going from southwest to northeast. And it looks like the windows were intact here, so maybe the windows on the south side were open and saved it. Find this an intriguing picture. The tree with its root ball was uprooted, picked up, and dropped on these people's front yard. Honey, the tree's down. We don't have a tree. Here it is. The Arctic Circle, or Daddy Maxwell's as you know it today, just missed getting slammed by all this debris. And from this point on, all the debris this way this is where the most damage occurred, up 67 Alport Road at the time. And then it picked up and headed towards Como. Let's find my little things. This is that strip of buildings along just north of the mobile station. And Carol Peterson Bishop said, it took my grandpa and dad's shop, Peterson Cabinet Shop on Highway 67, completely down. I think one of the chairs was later found near Como. So, look at that mess. This is Carol's grandpa and her dad. And we're standing a block over, Daddy Maxwell's is over here, Highway 67 is running along here, and here's the water company.
Oh, yeah.
So just in your mind's eye, imagine all this destruction. It's phenomenal. Yes? Somebody wishes to have a seat. There's a seat over here.
There's one here. There's a seat up there.
Great, thank you very much. Please feel free to take it. My grandpa, Bill Peterson, is on the left, and probably my dad. The roof of, I can't even tell where a building began and where it ended, but the roof here was also found in Lake Como. Poor Lake Como was probably on the bottom, most of Williams Bay was over there.
Yep.
No wonder it's so shallow.
They built it up.
We're looking, I think, I'm not really certain, but I think we're looking towards the row of damaged buildings, and this is Williams Bay behind it. We're standing east looking west, I suspect. I'm not really sure. Anybody got a clue or a hint?
Well, there's water.
Where that water is,
It
where
looks
the
like
parking
there's
lot hospital goes.
down
Over here?
beyond, but down
That's a
Ryan
brick.
Park.
Oh, could very well be. It was quite
Looks like one.
the mess.
Wow.
And it had showed no kindness to any vehicle, any tree, any building. Flying debris everywhere caused a lot of the damage. We got a lot. Mrs. Sleeman has an amazing newspaper photo of, one of the more memorable things of that day are the boats in the trees. So many people remembered seeing boats up in the trees. And so, see Mrs. Sleeman later for this piece of newspaper that shows that. Mr. Case is one of our miracle stories of that day. By all rights, he shouldn't have survived. He was on the phone talking to someone when the tornado hit and took down his shop, except for what you see here. He was on the other side of this wall. Is that right, Toby?
He was right where that phone is, see where the door is there?
Right here?
Right where your phone is, that phone, he was talking on the phone. So that's the only thing that was still up, and he was knocked out.
He woke up on the floor,
Right.
the article said, the poor man.
So when he woke up, he looked across, and I don't know if you remember mechanics, but his old horse was.
Old Bill.
Yeah,
Bill's horse, yeah.
his old horse was just sitting
Standing there.
Oh, God, looking at him.
Speaking of, this is the foundation
Good old Bill.
of the barn that was there 5 minutes earlier. Dale Coonahan said the tornado that took out Mike Quincannon's barn, right here, east of the Arctic Circle, his 20-plus-year-old horse Billy was next to the barn. Billy stood in the same place for 2 days. I think it was in shock.
Yeah.
Now, I've got Frank Drabeck's share on that. Frank Drabeck was Mike Quincannon's nephew, and what he said was about poor old Bill. Billy, okay. It also hit Uncle Mike's barn across from the Arctic Circle, picked it up and twisted it all to pieces. It left his workhorse Billy standing there, not hurt physically, but it took that horse about 2 to 3 months to start acting normal again. Poor thing. So, poor Billy. Yeah, Billy, goats in the trees and Billy are probably the two most memorable incidents, the situations that we saw that day.
Oh, my turn.
Myron Pyle's garage, Peel. Is this the water company?
Yeah,
It was just south of the water company.
the horses
No.
are there too, Deb.
See the horse?
Oh, there's poor Billy. Poor Billy didn't know what to do.
It was
He
right
wasn't
directly
shy.
across the street from Daddy Maxwell's,
Where
where
the gas station is now.
Right.
the gas station took over.
Right
where
there,
the
so when
shop
you go
used
down to
be.
get gas, look across the field and remember Billy. He was a staple. This is looking northeast, Como is over here, and this is the path of the tornado, so look at the debris in the fields. Power lines, everything was down, but we were very fortunate to have the Tri-C County CB service. And they coordinated with rescue personnel and were our means of communicating with the outside world because we had no cell phones, we had no computers, we had no way of communicating. I was in Beloit, we had left at noon, and on the radio we started hearing about the damage over here. And we were frantic because we didn't know if our home was still up, we didn't know about the neighbors, we didn't know if my dad was okay. And so it was a good 3-4 days before we had phone service. Tons and tons of debris. I mean, it was amazing how much we had. Chainsaws, somebody said immediately you could hear chainsaws going. And having people out picking up the debris and trying to get life back to normal so we could all go to Lewis's party. Most of the debris was taken up to Dump Hill. Those of you who aren't familiar with Dump Hill, that's the hill south of the village hall. And most of Dump Hill was built on the debris of the '65 tornado, because that's where we took our stuff to get rid of it. No warning siren. I'm going to finish up by reading you a synopsis from the National Weather Service about this tornado. The 1965 Palm Sunday outbreak had an important implication for public safety. Although forecasters had picked up on the likelihood of severe weather on the day of the outbreak, many people in the affected area did not receive any warning. Those of you who are here, do you remember any warning?
No.
Nothing. It was a beautiful day for the most part. There were a number of potential reasons for the lack of warning, including the fact that the outbreak took place on a holiday when many people were likely to be outside, the general lack of public knowledge about severe weather alerts, and the inadequacy of local warning systems at the time. Meetings that took place shortly after the outbreak led to the establishment of the Tornado Watch warning system that we currently have today. So you're part in town, in a town that has amazing influence on the rest of the world because of the lack of warning, they established what we do know now and what we heard the other night with the tornado sirens and everything going on. It was because of the Palm Sunday tornado outbreak. Anybody have anything they would like to share? Toby, could you flip the lights on, please? Thank you. It was a monumental day. It's one day that I will never forget. It affected me. Not a week goes by that I don't dream about a tornado. So since April 11th, 1965, if I'm stressed out or something, I know I'm going to have that darn tornado dream. My brother Dave coped with the trauma because we were caught in a vehicle in the tornado in Beloit. He became a storm chaser, so he was down in Harvard the other night watching the tornado form down there. So it affects different people in different ways. We're very fortunate to live in Williams Bay. When something like this happens, major disaster-wise, everybody pulls together and we help our neighbors out. And it's truly one of the reasons why when I was adult I moved back to Williams Bay. Yes, Mrs. Lehman.
I have a suggestion for the sirens. We always have a warning, but never anything telling us when it's over.
That's true.
Yes, the all clear. We were in our basement, and yes, we do have a scanner. And we were told when it was over. But people that don't have a scanner or a TV in the basement, how do they know when it's over? I think, you know, it's a real long siren when it's told you to get in the basement. But if they even 20 seconds to let you know it was over, I think would be a good idea.
I'll bring it up at the Warwick County Fire Rescue meeting. We had them monthly.
Yes.
And see.
Yeah,
They
see
used
what
to
they
have all
have.
clear sirens. They
Yeah.
used to have the all clear. I
Because
think it confused
anybody-
people.
Yeah,
think it
anybody that
confused
doesn't have a scanner or anything like that, they don't know when it's over, when they can get up out of the basement.
Did everybody hear the sirens?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody heard them? Because I know at one time there was a concern that people on the outer edges of the village, east and west, were having difficulty hearing the tornado siren above the fire department. So that's when we got our new siren.